Shuang, thank you so very much for jumping on. I know how busy you are.
All good, of course. I'm happy to
You
chat to
are
you.
you are my first female guest, and it's an honor to sit down with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honored to be here.
You've had an incredible career so far, and
Oh.
making your way from Brisbane to Los Angeles. How did that eventuate? How did the whole acting start for you?
It happened around the end of uni. My best friend, who I'd met in university, showed interest in acting, and I'd always been curious about the industry. And she was taking acting classes and asked me to join her. So out of curiosity, I did, and I loved it. I just fell in love with it. I loved the challenge of it, because I remember absolutely sucking when I first started. I was terrible. I couldn't act to save my life, and then the people in the class were just so good. I was like, oh, they're so natural, they're so effortless, and I just wondered, like, how I just wanted to know how to do it. Basically, I wanted to conquer it. I don't think you ever really conquer it. I don't think I am at all, like, in anywhere near where I need to be as an actress. But I think you definitely get better with time, and I just wanted to be good at it. That's
Did,
actually
did,
the biggest,
did,
like,
did you study drama at school?
you know what I did in grade 8 and 9? I did drama, but I
Yeah,
was awful. I got C's in drama. I
yeah,
think I was too experimental, and I was just, like, not able to execute what I imagined in my mind.
yeah.
So I sucked in high school, and that's why I didn't think it was ever going to be a thing I could do, because I was so bad at it that I wanted to get better. And I guess it just, like, that was the first time I actually felt like I was with people, like, my people, when I was with acting class, with my actor friends, because I used to work in finance. I was working in finance at the time, and I just thought, wow, these people really, they have this sense of curiosity and this love for life and love for people and love for story, and it got my, I guess, soul excited. I felt pulled to this world, and I felt a sense of openness that I'd never had before. And I admired how committed and passionate people were to acting and storytelling, as opposed to my corporate world, where most people just thought about how much money they were going to make and what
Yeah.
car they were going to buy and what holiday they were going to go on. It was just such a different world, and I like playing in both. I like having a balance of both. I think that's
Yeah.
the most realistic way to look at life. But I just I just fell in love with the people in the acting
Mm.
world.
Yes, yeah. So who would you say sorry, you go?
Oh, but I was gonna say that was the start, and then how I kind of got to where I am now is a really long journey. And I remember in my first acting class, the teacher was like, if you keep taking acting classes, maybe you can be like the one of the series regulars in a TV show, like this actress student that I had from years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, maybe I could be on TV. But yeah, many
And
steps to get to
did
that.
you initially start with advertisements, or did you just jump straight into, is that how it all worked?
No, this is the stepping stone in acting world. Okay. This is the kindergarten. This is the school. This is your, like, trajectory. You start off doing acting classes, and then you book extra background work. So you learn how a set works and who's involved in a set and what everyone does. It's really good to get experience on set without any major risks. And then you book a commercial. Maybe you book, like, a supporting role, and then you book maybe a lead in a commercial, and then you book some supporting roles, guest roles in TV shows and movies, and then you book your leads in TV shows and movies, and you just, like, that is usually the stepping stone for someone who's not in the industry to get in the industry. and work
Yes.
your way up.
Yeah. And so who would you say has been the most impactful? Can you think of three people that has really helped you throughout your whole entire journey so far?
You know what? This is not going to be a traditional answer, but an agent at Black Box Management. It, and not in a good way. Usually people say inspirational, but this person's not inspirational, but she was very impactful in my career. She was actually the one that lit the fire under my ass. Because I don't know if you know this. Well, I don't know, for people watching, they probably don't know this, but James and I we grew up together. We lived in the same townhouse complex in high school. That's how we know each other. And so James knows that I have a twin sister, and she was actually doing extra work before me. She had an agency that she was signed with, and I tried to get into that agency before I started acting. I was like, oh, it's just extra background work. Like, how hard could that be? So I called them up to try to get representation, and they asked me, first thing they said was, have you acted before? And I was like, no. Have you been to an audition before? No. Have you taken an acting class? And I was like, no. So if we send you to an audition, how are you going to know what to do? Anyway, they grilled me, made me feel so small and insignificant and unworthy of being an extra in my mind. As they said that, and after I hung up the phone, I was like, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how good I can be, and you're going to regret not signing me one day.
I love that. That perseverance, that never give up. That's what it's all about.
It's also when somebody says you can't do something, it makes you want to prove that you can. It's
100%.
rebellion nature in me.
I can't
So
remember. It's one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's rules for success is ignore the naysayers. So people are always going to be a little bit pessimistic, and it might be in their good nature, but at the same time, it kind of brings you down, and you have to ignore them and follow your heart and what you want to do. And I respect that. That's so good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So I would say that's the most impactful, because she really forced me to go take those acting classes and get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second person is probably my sister, because she's been with me the longest. She's been with me my entire life, my twin sister. And she inadvertently has a lot of influence on my life.
Yeah.
I think she's a very strong individual, and sometimes in my moments of weakness, I really go to her for advice, and she just has a way to uplift me and make me feel better. She's my biggest supporter, so I don't want to let her down. It makes me work harder. And my dad,
that's amazing. Yeah.
by my dad, and I don't know if it's in a good way. He's an inspiration in that he really worked hard to get out of his childhood situation. He grew up in the countryside in China and came from a very poor family, and he was one of the two people in his school to go to university. So it was a big deal for him to come from a small town to end up in a big city in Australia and do the work that he does now. So I think about that, and I think, oh, you know, if my dad can do it, then I shouldn't complain about anything. You know, I need to work hard to make his sacrifice worth it. But he's also he's like, I guess he's left a lot of scars in my heart, in a negative way that's pushed me to be a better person, but he's also been the one that's been very practical, a practical, yes, voice in my head and in my ear, telling me consistently to, you know, be smart about money. That is one thing I'll be very grateful for. He taught us from a young age that we need to invest, and that business is important and wealth management is important. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have made some of the decisions that I did when I was younger to set me up to where I am today. And I think if I didn't have that, I guess, like the earlier if I didn't make some earlier smart decisions with my money, I would be a lot more stressed out right now. Because the art world doesn't have any stability when you're starting off. You could literally go years without working, and a lot of people end up waiting tables and doing really tough jobs, and sometimes just leaving the industry altogether because financially it's just really tough. But he helped me make some really smart financial decisions when I was younger, so that I could take the leap later in life, regardless of whenever I did it, so I didn't have to stress about the money side of things. So I'm very grateful to him for instilling that in me in an early age. That's very practical.
That's amazing, and it's incredible. I mean, they must be so proud of you on everything that you've achieved so far.
Oh, I think so. I think at the start they were very worried.
Yeah, like most parents are, they're worried. Yeah.
They really wanted me to go back to my finance job. They're like, okay, when are you going to give up your hobby and go back to your real job? And I was like, never. It's been long enough that they've given up on me ever going back into finance.
I think people can really listen in to the viewers and understand where you're coming from, Shuang. And if you have a dream, you have goals and ambitions. And I think with hard work and a slow grind, you can get to where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And I think people would find that resonating. So parents are always going to be there to support you, but also they want what's best for you. But sometimes at the same time, you have to follow your heart. You have to listen to your gut. And that's what you did. And look at where you are now. Incredible.
Thank you. Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
So from 2016 to 2019, you portrayed Candy Law in the TV series, the Family Law. And what was that experience like?
Oh man, it was like having a second family. It was really surreal. It was my first ever TV role. It took me 3 auditions to get that, 3 callbacks to get it, and I would say it was probably the best first TV role I could have asked for, because it was the first TV show in Australia with a mainly Asian cast, so I had the support of my community around me. We all knew at that time how important it would be and how big this show would mean to the Asian Australian community in Australia. The Asian Australian community.
Yeah.
And and everyone was just so welcoming. It was such a sweet and warm set. It was like having a second family. It was surreal. Like my TV mum and dad treated us like our real mum and dads, and I learned so much from them. I was so glad I was able to be exposed to such veteran actors so early on in my career, because having them as a guidepost really allowed me to I guess be more prepared and grounded for my future roles. They also, took us out on weekends, and I remember going to dinner with my TV dad, Anthony Brandon Wong, who was in The Matrix, and he is an amazing actor. He's also he's also an acting coach. He sat me down and he talked about moving to America, and he was like, this is the advice I have for you. And it was like a university. It was like a degree in acting in that span of time. The 3-4 months that I spent with them, it was like doing a crash course in acting, but also getting practical and theoretical experience at the same time. I like really enjoyed my experience on set. I don't have anything negative to say about it at all. Everyone was amazing, and I think everyone knew it was going to be a really special show. I remember them just really being so excited for the show to come out, excited for the world to see it, because they knew how much it would mean to everyone.
Yes. Amazing. So
But I realized then I have so much to learn. You know, after doing it, I was like, oh, okay, I thought I knew stuff. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I was so green. I was like, okay, it really
Yeah.
kind of kicked me in the butt, made me realize, I still have to like keep going. It's a lifelong learning journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazon Prime is now streaming the film Five Blind Dates, which I believe you co-wrote, co-produced. And how did that eventuate? How did you come up with the script?
So my writing partner, Nathan Ramos Park, and we were set up on a blind professional date because I was looking for a writer to help me write a movie idea. And he was introduced to me by another writing friend of ours. And we caught up one day in a Starbucks on Sunset and Vine, and we're like, okay, what do we want to do? Let's make a movie. And I pitched him this idea, and he was like, you know what? Scrap that. We're going to make a movie that only you can be in, that only you can tell. So I just told him about my life story, and then from that experience, we came up with some ideas about the film, and he was saying that he thought of this reality TV show idea where your family sets up dates for you. And then I was telling him about the fact that my mum was really pressuring me to get married, and I gave myself this 2-year ultimatum to go back to Australia if it didn't work out in America. With all of that, we came up with the concept of 5 blind dates, where Leah is told by a fortune teller that if she that she will meet her soulmate on the next 5 blind dates that on the next 5 dates she goes on, and then her family don't trust her to find her suitors, so they all find one person for her, which is meant to be symbolic of how well our family know us, or how well they think they know us.
Amazing. An amazing journey you've had so far. And what do you think has been some of your favourite roles? And what kind of genre do you like to portray in? Is it more comedy, drama? What do you like doing?
I love both. I used to think I was a comedy actor and that's it. So I focused a lot of my energy and time into honing my comedy craft. But I did a drama or horror drama later last year. And it was actually a lot of fun.
Really?
Because it was so surreal, yeah.
Is this your first horror movie?
First horror.
Wow.
I did a short back way early on in my career. But this is my first horror feature film. And I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. So it surprised me. Made me think, oh, maybe I could actually, maybe I'm a drama actor. And I don't know if you watch 5 Blind Dates or not, but I felt like there was a lot of scenes where the drama or the more emotional scenes really came quite easily to me.
Yeah.
I was able to tap into it. And it could also be because I co-wrote the thing, so I probably could feel the character. I've been living with the character for so long. But also say I like both, comedy and drama. I definitely think I have a lot more fun in comedy. It's a lot lower stakes, and you can play more. You can be more ridiculous in comedy. I can be ridiculous in drama too, but I think in comedy I love being ridiculous. Oh, okay. Yeah. Which leads me to your first question about what character I like to portray, or what role I've liked to portray so far. There's a movie I did last year called Dunny Derby, and I was cast as the most bogan character of all time. She's this character that grows up in Winton and has the thickest Australian accent and is an absolute trash of a person. So opposite to who I am normally. Not to say I can't be unhinged, but she's definitely out there. And I just had the best time playing her. I loved it. I was just so disgusting. I cut all of my costumes up to just under my chest. always had my stomach revealed. I was like, you know what, Keitha is her name.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous name, right?
Yeah.
Keitha. I was like, this chick is just gonna be gross. She's gonna always have her stomach out. She's always gonna be like, as like her pants rolled up high, the top rolled up low, the most like slutty dressed bogan as possible.
Yeah.
And I also put on weight. I ate as much as I could. I didn't exercise at all, and I was like, I want to be as gross as I can, because I really didn't think they would cast me in it. Because
You really
got
into the character.
I was really surprised when they cast me. I don't think my face really suited the character. When I read it, I was like, okay, this chick, she's, you know, she's beautiful, but she's voluptuous. And she's just like no makeup and just real like earth. She's just a earthy kind of character. But then they cast me, I was like, okay, I need to like change myself. I really just want to transform for this role. That was a role I felt like I was the most different to who I am normally. That's my favorite.
And is there anybody in the film industry that you would love to collaborate with or work with in the future?
I would love to work with Margot Robbie. I think all her projects are fantastic. She's got a real good eye for filmmaking and for storytelling, and I would just like love to see what we could come up with if we put our two brains together.
Have you met Margot Robbie before?
I have not. I've only seen her at a screening from afar. I was in the audience and she was up there giving a speech for Bombshell.
Yeah.
But, you know, one day, it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Out there manifesting it.
Manifesting it. So, what has been the biggest failure, and what have you learned from that throughout your entire acting career?
It's a good question. I would say, you know what, it's thinking I know more than I know. I think sometimes it can be good in like, confidence is good, but then knowing what you don't know is necessary. And I think earlier on I always thought I was like, I thought I knew everything. I went in with a bit too much confidence, and on the one end I think it's what I needed to get me to where I am, because if I was self-doubting at all, there's no way I would have fought for myself this hard. I knew I could accomplish things. I knew I had a good story to tell. I knew I was capable. So I pushed myself into the room. Like, I don't know anyone in the industry. I came from Brisbane. My parents are not in film and TV at all. I didn't have any legs up. I had no shortcut. So in order for me to even be in the room, I needed that confidence to put myself there. But I think there's a difference between like confidence and then arrogance, and I think at points I might have been a little bit too arrogant, and I wish I would have maybe been a little bit more humble if I were to redo some moments in my career.
Some of the greatest lessons in life happen through failure, and we learn far more of what goes wrong in our lives than what goes right. And I think the viewers could really listen and learn that it really is the lessons through going through adversity, the struggle that get us to where we want to be. And I'm sure there must have been many times in your career where you felt most uncomfortable, and how did you manage to get through it?
I think just believing in yourself, like knowing that, maybe not knowing, but yeah, believing that you can do it and that you're meant to be there and that you are worthy.
Yeah.
Sometimes in this industry, it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. That's when you get really uncomfortable. It's where you compare your career to someone else's career. And, oh my gosh, Margot Robbie was cast in Wolf of Wall Street when she was 23 or something like that. And you think, oh my God, at a certain age, I need to be here. And it's so easy to compare a public figure's career to yours because it's so accessible. And then it makes you feel like you're a failure. It makes you very uncomfortable. But I think this industry especially, there is no straight path to success. And even when you do reach a certain milestone, it doesn't mean that your life is going to change forever. It could change momentarily for certain. You have some sort of momentary success and, that might build into more successes. But it could easily all be taken away as well in a heartbeat. So I think that comparing yourself to someone else can be very detrimental, and I've definitely done it in my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need it to give yourself a little kick up the ass, but definitely don't let it get you down into a place of, I would say, unhappiness or depression or self-doubt.
Yeah.
As long as it's not negatively affecting your feelings and it's more of a driver to put you in a more positive place, it's okay. But I'd say that. And also sometimes I think I'm right now in the most uncomfortable place that I've ever been.
Yeah.
Because I've realized I've reached the goal that I set out to reach. I didn't have a lot of goals. I just had this one goal. I want to make a movie and be the lead actress in it. And I thought after that, everything would change. And it has changed in a way. It's definitely given me a lot more clout in the industry and people take me seriously now. But it's so uncomfortable because I don't know where to go from here. Because I reached the place I wanted to get, which I reached the place I thought I was never going to get to. I thought I would spend my entire life chasing that goal. And the fact that it's here is just so surreal to me. And I haven't given myself the ability or I haven't given myself the chance to set another goal for myself. I'm too scared to dream bigger now. I know it's achievable, but it's almost like the struggle is easier than sitting at the mountaintop. Because at least when you're struggling or you're getting there and you're climbing the mountain, you're climbing. There's a goal and you know where to go. But when you're at the top, and it sounds so stupid to say you're at the top because I know there's just so much more. There's more on top of me. But I've reached a certain milestone for myself that I set myself. And after that, the path is a lot less clear.
There's a lot of things that you've just said that have some golden nuggets, and comparison is the thief of joy. And it was interesting listening, and you were talking about don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's journey is different. Mm-hmm. And likewise, there's always new mountains to conquer. And once you've achieved one milestone, there's another mountain to climb. We never stop growing. You're either failing or you're growing. And it's very interesting listening to you and getting your perspective and what you've achieved so far, and yet you've achieved monumental success. It's incredible, really incredible, and I'm sure a lot of viewers would get a lot of value of what you just said.
I hope so, because I know it from the outside. It seems and looks amazing, which I know it is. I don't want to seem ungrateful. I think I am very grateful for what I've achieved, but for me, it doesn't feel like enough yet. Like,
Yeah,
maybe because it's imposter syndrome, or because I've had so many no's said to me before someone said yes, that it almost I don't give myself the credit, because I a little bit think I don't deserve it, because people tell you you don't deserve it so much in this industry, or they tell you that you're not enough so often that you really believe it. And I think from the outside, yes, it looks like there's a lot of milestones that have been conquered, but I don't feel that way. I don't think I really, count my eggs as much as I maybe should. It feels like, oh, okay, that's just one thing I've done, but like there's so much more I can do. And there's like, because I naturally compare myself, but I feel like it's so easy to sit here and just be like comfortable with where I am. And maybe uncomfortable is a good thing. Maybe my words aren't making sense, but maybe uncomfortable is a good thing, because it kicks you up the butt and makes you aim for that comfortness. And I could sit back on my laurels and just say, okay, I've achieved what I've achieved, but I feel like I haven't gotten there. I just don't know what the next thing is. But I know it might look like I know what I'm doing, but if I'm going to be perfectly honest, right now I feel a little lost. I feel like the path is really not clear. So don't ever like look at someone's career and go, oh my God, so much success. They've done it. They've like killed it. They nailed it. They know what they're doing. I don't think they do, because I don't know what I'm doing totally yet all the time. Maybe 20% of the time I know what I'm doing, but like the other 80% of the time, just like I'm just trying to survive.
But look at how far you've come, Shuang. It's my personal belief that 5 years is a time frame that you can reinvent yourself. And if you look back from 5 years ago and what you've actually achieved, it's pretty fucking remarkable.
Well, you have been here for 5 years.
Yeah.
It is.
So would you say that you're more of an extroverted person or an introverted person?
Definitely extroverted. Although I'm slowly starting to become introverted. I used to be out all the time when I first moved to LA. Out all the time, partying, having people over. I loved having people over. I loved hosting events. I loved like spoiling my friends, just making a big party all the time. I just loved being around people. I loved networking. I loved just getting to know people, and that really excited me. The word wanderlust was kind of the definition of what I aspired to be at all times. But in the last couple of years, ever since COVID, and since I've had a few traumatic friendship experiences / relationship experiences in LA, it has made me introverted. It's maybe not one to get to know people as much. Now, I don't know if I know this is meant to be like really it's inspiring, but
no,
I feel like I'm just bringing the mood down.
This is really good stuff. Reality. This is really good stuff. There's a lot of wisdom. For the viewers to unpack, and I'm sure everyone would resonate and get a lot of value out of this. So, no, definitely. So. 100%.
Okay. Okay. Well, for being real, I think those really traumatic emotional experiences, which I never experienced in Australia. So I don't know if it's like an LA thing or just once you achieve a certain success in your life thing, but I feel like I've had some, yeah, really disheartening experiences, and it has made me more introverted because I've I've had some friendship losses that feel like breakups but worse. They feel like someone died. It's like a real loss, and I grieved for so long, and I don't think I've recovered from that quite yet. Maybe I haven't found like the next group of friends to really bond with to kind of get me over that last friendship group. So I haven't been able to maybe heal 100%. But all those negative experiences socially has made me introverted because I haven't wanted to, maybe I'm too afraid to experience that again because I don't want to feel that pain again. So unfortunately, I'd say usually I'm very extroverted, but I've recently become introverted, and it makes me a little bit sad because I remember the energy and the happiness that I felt when I was a very extroverted person, going out there and just meeting people all the time. I remember that feeling as this, when you're just you, when you're like 100% you, and you're at the happiest place you are, and you're like living your best life. I feel like socially, when I'm at my, when I'm socially at my peak, that's actually when I'm living my best life. And I didn't have career success, but I was very emotionally happy. But now that I have career success, but emotionally I've been traumatized, maybe that's why I can't enjoy my success as much.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't have people to enjoy it with, like my family, I can share it with them, but I'm actually not with them, so I can't physically enjoy it with them. I feel like because maybe I don't have that emotion, the emotions that my peak emotional happiness is not at the same level. It's like here, and my peak career happiness is here, but my emotion is not there, and so it's actually made me less enjoy my career success less. So I think what I'm trying to say is friends are really important, and your emotional health and happiness is actually more important than your career. And
I love that.
You can't enjoy the sweet success of your career unless there are people to share it with.
Yeah. Shuan, what would be the one piece of advice that you could give somebody that's going through a difficult moment in their life, whether it be a heartbreak or bereavement, some sort of traumatic event? What would be something that you would encourage that person to do?
Good question. Right now I'm just thinking, what would I tell myself to do? But I think, grief is important. Unhappiness, that emotion, you need to sit with it to get over it. I would say embrace that emotion fully. Don't stop yourself from feeling it. If you're going through a hard time, let yourself go through that hard time. It's not until we get through that we can see the light on the other side. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to mask it. Don't try to sweep it under the rug, because it's gonna come back and bite you eventually. And I know this because I'm still going through it, and I've tried to hide it. I've tried to sweep it under the rug by focusing on my work and by distracting myself with other things. But that, that bluntness in your heart is still there till you really truly get over it. So I would say that give yourself the grace of just feeling it all and working through your emotions. If you need to cry for a week, girl, go sit in the corner and cry for a week. Give yourself that grace. Like, be okay. You don't need to be strong for anyone. And then after you get, not saying do that forever, just like give yourself that time, that real grieving period. Just block out a month in your life and be like, this month is just going to be focused on me grieving the fuck out. And then you'll have the rest of your life to go upwards. So just like think of it as your own like grieving time, You just give yourself, just know in your head, okay, it's just going to be a month and then I'll be fine. So that you allow it to all come out. And then after that, set some goals and focus on yourself. Just yourself, like take yourself on dates, focus on loving yourself, buy yourself things, take care of yourself, and then the good things will come.
I love that. And you know what? Some of the greatest lessons that I've experienced throughout my entire 37 years is through heartbreak, through trauma, through going through struggle and adversity. And, as we were talking about, we learn far more of what goes wrong in our lives than what goes right. And it's interesting. Everyone goes through adversity. Everyone hits rock bottom. And just as you said, just know beyond your pain, there is light at the end of the tunnel. What's interesting is you have a large following on social media. You have, I think, 4.5 million followers on TikTok. You've got 7 million subscribers on YouTube. So what would be the one piece of advice that you would give your viewers or anyone that's pursuing a social media or having to create content? What's some ideas and value that you could give?
I'd say be persistent. Be absolutely persistent. And pick a content piece that you like. Make content that you actually enjoy making about a topic that you love, that you can bring value to, something that you are actually good at. So pick a thing that you're good at, that you happen to love, because you're going to actually be able to impart knowledge onto the audience, which is what they're looking for. People want to watch content that they either are entertaining them or distracting them or educating them. So I just think if you are out there trying to be a content creator, it's got to be those three things. You're not just trying to make a viral video. You're not just posting videos of your cat. If you have set your mind to being a content creator, which is a full-time job, by the way, it is more than a full-time job. It's your whole life. You're on 24/7. I can no longer take a holiday and just be on a holiday. My mind is always thinking about what content I can make, or what can I film, what can I do. There's no off button. It's actually mental. So just know that if you want to make this a career, this is what is happening. This is what's to come. This is what you're signing up for. So it better be something that you love, first of all. And also I say talk about a topic that you're good at, because, why are there balloons suddenly?
I have no idea. That was random.
I know. Is there a trigger word that I meant to say that I didn't know I said? Second thing I say, pick something you are good at. There I go again. What did I say?
I don't know what's going on.
Pick something. I said pick something. A balloon's gonna magically appear again. Pick something you love because, or pick something that you're good at, because that's the thing that you're going to be able to talk about effortlessly, and that you can actually add value for your audience, if that grammatically makes sense. Because you're going to be making a lot of videos about this one thing. So unless you are really knowledgeable in that area, it's going to take more time for you to learn about it. And that's okay too, if you want to learn about a thing and impart knowledge, but make sure you love it, because it's going to be your life. And also keep it consistent. If you're going to upload every Friday, make sure you upload every Friday and make it consistent, because your followers, they are following you because of the promises you made to them, and also because they like your content. So if they go, oh, James, he posts a podcast every week, I like what he says, I'm going to follow because I expect a video every week, and I expect this kind of content and this kind of consistency, this kind of quality every time. And as long as he keeps providing that, I'm going to keep following. And when he stops providing that, what it is that I want, then I must unfollow. If you want to keep the followers growing and keep them staying, you need to just keep consistently making good content. Just think about it yourself. Like, we watch TV shows because we like the content, right? Friends, 10 seasons, kept it the same kind of thing. The writing was very similar. The writing was great. The characters were consistent, were they not? We knew exactly how they were going to act, and that was okay because we loved them for it. We liked Joey being an idiot and saying his dumb quirks, because that was Joey, and that's what he does, and we love him for it. And if he suddenly became like more of a Ross, we'd be really freaking confused. It's the same.
Do you think social media is net positive or net negative?
I think it's net positive if you use it wisely.
Yes. It's interesting because there is a large portion of people that use it for content creation, and I 100% agree with you. I think that there is that disparity in some people would use social media for their business, but also it does have a dark side to it. And have you ever experienced the dark side with social media?
Oh, for sure. Even being a content creator, a lot of my friends are content creators, a lot of who I'm exposed to are content creators, and you can very clearly see their success or failure and their growth too. Like, some of the followers, like some content creators that I started with, have completely outgrown me. And so sometimes you compare yourself to them. You're like, how come they're growing and I'm not? What are they doing and I'm not? Well, why are they suddenly like popping off and I'm not? So you can easily like talk yourself into a dark place. Do that. So there were like some moments, that I definitely felt a little unworthy or a little I wouldn't say unsuccessful, just like that I wasn't keeping up, that I was failing. I felt like a failure at times when I wasn't growing as fast as my peers. And you kind of just get over it. You kind of become numb to that sensation, and then you just have to focus on yourself. You have to realize that nobody's the same. That sometimes, yes, they're growing, but the content that they're making is not the kind of content you want to make. And you just have to focus on the content you're making and do the best possible job on the content you're making, and then eventually it will pick up, and it did. So I've been through that. It's only because I've been through it that I can say that this is what you got to do, because I definitely went through my peaks and my troughs in my content creating journey. There were some moments where I didn't have any followers at all, and instead of just giving up, I kept going, and I just found a new niche to keep building, and it went like that. And that's what's going to happen. It's like every career, you have to evolve. You have to just keep reinventing yourself, and that is
Consistency, never give up, perseverance. This is all wise words. It's amazing. I love that. So what are you working on currently, Shuang? What are some of the things that you're doing at the moment?
Well, I just started a blemish bling line. They're pimple patches with my face on it. This is the character Baby Shu. She's dressed like Baby Shu, and I made a cartoon version, and the pimple patches are my face.
Okay.
One Shu face and Baby Shu face. I just started it.
Wow.
So a lot of my time is spent on working on this at the moment.
And do you have a diary with you? Because your content it's amazing. So do you have a diary and write down ideas? Like, I'm sure you have ideas running through your head. I think viewers can understand you need to be very perspicacious and aware of being a social media influencer, constantly evolving, constantly changing, different ideas. Like, what do you do in that situation?
I have a note. I have many notes on my phone with ideas, just like, okay, filming this, that, like ideas. My process is evolving. Previously, actually, it's still this way now. I have an assistant. Her and I ideate on ideas, and then we write out a script. The script goes into my Google Drive, into a folder, and then what I'll do is, like, every week I'll set a filming day, like 2 days a week. I'll be like, Thursday, Friday, okay, this is the days I'm filming, and then I'll invite my friends to film with me. I'll be like, okay, on Thursday I've got these 2 people filming with me. And then I'll go to my assistant and be like, let's think of some ideas. And then we'll think for some ideas, put it on the Google Drive, and she'll put it on a spreadsheet for me so I know what I'm filming that day. And then on the day, I film it, and then I upload all the footage. And then my editors, and it gets, like, put into a folder, and then I use Asana to manage my team on Asana, or assign a task. Okay, this is a video that needs to be edited. Once it's edited, I watch it. Once it's approved, that goes to another pile, and then my assistant knows she needs to post it, and then she'll post it. Yeah.
And what would be some of the advice that you would give to your audience with regards to content creation? Because I've just realized, like, doing podcasts, and I understand there's a lot of work involved. It's editing, it's spending a bit of time and reiterating things. What's some things that you could sort of give advice on, just people that are just starting out?
People who are just starting out, advice? I don't know if there's more. Like, do you mean other than what I've just said?
So, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of homework to do. You're going to have to do a little bit of research. Now obviously we have AI, artificial intelligence. So we're able to use certain apps and software to create content, and it's only going to get better. It's pretty amazing what you can do with AI.
Yep.
So with certain ideas, you suggested, having a notepad and writing down certain things.
Okay.
And what else could people do?
I think it depends on the type of content they want to make. I mean, my advice is more geared towards comedy creators and people that want to make the kind of content I make. But I would say, you need to learn how to edit. Because initially, the ideas that are going through your head are only going to appear out of your head. They're not going to be, like, able to be made by somebody else, because they can't imagine what you're imagining in your head. So I'd say learn how to edit so you can put your ideas into fruition, and you can actually edit your idea the way you are imagining in your head.
I love that. I love that. I put a post on Instagram, and it gained a lot of traction. I'll read it out to you. I said, in the end, we all become memories and stories. Our lives are made up of countless moments that shape who we are and how we are remembered. When we leave this world, what remains are the memories we've created and the stories that are shared about us. It is in these memories and stories that our legacy lives on, whether it's through acts of kindness, accomplishments, or the relationships we build. Our legacy is the mark we leave on the world. People remember you not just for what you have achieved, but for the way you made them feel. It is the impact you had on others that resonates long after you are gone. By living a life filled with compassion, empathy, and love, you can leave a legacy that touches hearts and inspires others to do the same. How do you want people to remember you, and what is the legacy you want to leave on the world, Shuang?
That's a good question. That's really deep, and that is a very I love what you said about leaving your legacy, and that really once you're gone, it's the stories that people tell about you that live on. I guess I hope that I would have made a positive impact.
Love that. Yeah.
On the world, regardless of the size of that impact, as long as it was positive. I think I would like to hope that I am a good person and I try to make good decisions and I try not to hurt people. So I would hope that people remember me as a good person that tried to make a positive impact. And I think about this a lot. I've thought about this at different junctures in my life, and the answers have changed depending on where I've been. For example, when I was in high school, I really wanted to open up an orphanage in China for young girls. But since then, the Chinese government has opened up the one-child policy, and now you can have more than one child, and females are actually the population of females has, as a percentage, dropped below the male percentage. There's too many males, not enough females, so we're actually higher valued now in Chinese culture and Chinese society, because there's single men out there that can't get married because there's not enough women. And so, some things I haven't had to change. I wanted to, but society has done the changing for me. So that became irrelevant. And then so my goal pivoted when I wanted to do more acting and storytelling. And so now I want people to remember the laughter that I brought into their lives.
Yeah.
The distraction that I brought them in a tough time. I have a lot of fans saying that when they're having a bad day, they watch my videos to make them laugh. And that's really all I can hope for, to make a positive I just not influence, I don't even know if impact, it's just I want to have made people smile and laugh. I think that's ultimately what I want, regardless of how. It could happen in a number of ways and through different media and different techniques. But I think if they can think of me and be happy and walk away with a positive experience, I think I would have achieved something good in this world.
Yeah. I love that, Shuang. I think that's amazing. And I'm sure there are millions of people that watch your content that really do get a lot of value in what you bring. and you have no idea the impact that you can make in someone's life. We don't know. We honestly don't know, but I'm sure there are many people, millions of people that watch you and have seen your content that really appreciate what you do. And I praise you for that, and keep going. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Shuang, where can people find you?
They can find me on all the socials. They can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, as you said. I'm at The One Shu everywhere. They can also find me on Amazon Prime on the 5 Blind Dates movie. Yeah, I'm pretty accessible now. It's weird. It's weird that you can like Google Shuang Hu and read a lot about her. Who is this person?
I think you're on Wikipedia. Wikipedia. You've got an IMDb now. You're on Wikipedia.
Oh, I'd like to see what it says. I haven't even seen it.
Crazy, right? Crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
Wikipedia. You sure?
I'm pretty sure I saw you on Wikipedia.
Oh, there I am. Oh, it actually says where I studied. It's got my Chinese name. Occupation. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
There's not that much about me. I guess there's not enough information out there yet.
I'm sure people will add to it. I'm sure.
Yeah. This is funny.
Yeah. Shuang, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting down and talking to you, and I appreciate everything that you've been doing in your industry, in your career, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for talking to me. I really appreciate it. It's been so nice to catch up.
100%. Definitely. Yeah.
And you too. Keep killing it.
Thank you very much, Shuang. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll let you go, and thank you again.
Thanks. Of course. Anytime.
Okay. Thanks, Shuang.
All right. Bye, James.